This is Terry from Generically Yours, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A because all the best YouTubers do it. And please pardon the weird lighting because it is around 6 a.m. I think, and all I've got is a desk lamp because I'm just that fancy. But anyway, on to the questions.
Dark Jade wants to know, do you have any pets?
Yes, I do.
Bent Blue asks, do you have any kids?
No, I do not.
Where do you work?
I'll give you a hint. I have to wear a blue vest and play nice with idiots all day.
What's it like where you live? Is it cold?
I live in Georgia, so it is not very cold. You can make it through the whole winter with like a hoodie, and in summer it gets in the hundreds, so that's a lot of fun. I'm inside a lot because AC is life.
Kayla's Bela wants to know, what or who got you into Harry Potter?
What got me, or who got me, into Harry Potter? First off, when I was really young, I hated reading with a passion. So a cousin of mine, when we were still in school, was reading a book and she was telling me about it, and she said that she had gotten to the part where there were a whole bunch of letters coming in through a fireplace. And I thought, you know what, that sounds like my kind of weird. So let's try that.
Kate asks, what's your favorite piece of artwork you've done? By the way, I've seen your work. Amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I put a lot of work and effort into my work, especially now. I think a couple years back, I promised myself no more half-assing. So whenever I create something, I put my all into it. So thank you. I do appreciate that. Okay, my favorite work. There's a couple of them leading up to my all-time favorite. I had a hard time picking because I have a few favorites for different reasons.
This is my favorite abstract piece. It's the first abstract piece I ever did. I really loved how it turned out. This is probably my favorite digital work that I've done that wasn't like Harry Potter or Social Repose related. I really love the sadness in it, and I love how I did the wording in the background. This is my favorite clay piece I've ever made. I've always loved the Monster Book of Monsters from Harry Potter. I always thought it was adorable, so I made this little charm guy. A lot of you probably recognize this one. This is definitely one of my favorites because of the amount of detail work I put into it, and it also incorporates two of the things that have inspired me the most in my life. This one is by far my absolute favorite piece. Not only is it the biggest piece I've ever done, but it's layered paper, which is my absolute favorite art style. It takes a while, but it's definitely worth it. I love the texture, I love the layers, and most of the paper you see is from Game Informer magazines that I cut up. In fact, if you look at it really close, there's a lot of tiny details in there.
The next question comes from Steamroller.
Do you listen to music while you draw?
Yes, I do. I listen to a lot of music anytime that I'm drawing, anytime that I am creating anything, be it art or crafts or whatever, there's always music.
Matriarch Mothra asks, why do you make things?
As long as I can remember, I've always been artistic, crafty, creative. And I've always loved being able to kind of push myself and see what I can do, see what I can make, create, and put into the world. I love being able to make things and see people's reactions. It does feel good to put a lot of work into something that you see in your head and bring it to life, and then be able to see how other people react to it. I love being able to like convey my emotions and be able to see how it affects people. It's interesting to me to see if they get out of it what I put into it. But why do I make things? To challenge myself, see what I can do, see what I can put out there.
Banana Cream Pie asks, if you could spend a day in one room with 5 people, famous or not, who would you pick?
At first, I thought it was going to be easy because I read it quickly. And I thought, oh, 5 people, that's easy. You know, I can say my father that I lost when I was 14 so I could spend another day with him. Then I reread it. It doesn't say alive or dead. It says famous or not. So I had to rethink. It wasn't so easy, because the easiest to jump to was my father. So I had to think about it. One, a lot of you will see this coming. Richie from Social Repose. I would love to be able to have a day with him in a room so I can just talk to him. I love his aesthetic. I love, what he does. He's very inspiring to me. I would love to be able to be in a room with him and just kind of pick his brain and just kind of get to know him better. He's very interesting to me. Number 2. I would like to have Josh from Exploring with Josh, which is another YouTuber. I would like to be able to talk to him because he's traveled the world. He has traveled and explored abandoned places, not abandoned places. So I think having him in a room for a day just to talk to him, I think it would be really interesting to be able to ask him, all these questions about where he's been, what he's seen. He's a real sweetheart in his videos, and I would really like a chance to be able to get to talk to him, because exploring is one of those things that I've always kind of wanted to do. I just lack the money. I guess I'd love to be able to talk to him and just kind of, be able to experience through him what he's seen. 3, I would love to find and reconnect with an English teacher I had in Virginia when I lived there. This English teacher was there for me. She was there for me mentally when I needed it, because I moved there right after my father passed away. So she was there for me. She helped push me artistically, not only in like writing, but she knew I drew, so she would ask me to draw posters based on books for her walls. And she was more of a friend than a teacher. So if I could have her in a room for a day, I'd love to be able to just catch up, see what she's been up to, and tell her thank you. So 4, I'm going to say my childhood friend, Nick. He was my first best friend in first grade, and he actually was there for me a lot. Well, my father passed away, but he was there for me. And over the years, he was like my best friend. And over the years, we grew apart. We went our separate ways. So if I could have him in a room for a day, I just like to catch up with him, see how he's doing, just kind of thank him for being there for me all those years ago. The 5th person, I'm giving this a lot of thought. If I could have one more person in that room with me for a day, I'm gonna have to say my mother. She's always been there for me, rooting me on. So if I could have her in a room for a day, I would tell her how much I love her. I would tell her how much she means to me. Because in my family growing up, it was more of an unspoken thing. You would just know. You didn't necessarily tell everybody in the family, oh, I love you. So if I had her in a room for a day, I would just spend time with her. before it's too late. Because losing my father at 14 made me realize, you can never have too much time. My biggest regret in this life is not telling him more that I loved him. So, with that said, the fifth person in that room would have to be my mother, because I don't want her to go without me having more time and telling her that I love her, because I regret that once. Once is enough. I don't want to have a double regret.
Hey, Toss the Pancreas asked, Maddie Healy? Healy. Okay. Okay. The 1975. Okay, I guess it's a band. Let's see. Pictures. That's a Maddie Healy. Okay, so apparently he's in a band. That's great. But have you heard of this other band artist guy named Social Repose? He's pretty fucking great. I don't think I've ever heard of this Maddie Healy. Curry My Candy asks, how long have you known about Richie?
Okay, so basically, my roommate showed me a video of Richie back in, oh god, I want to say 2015-ish? It was like One Man, 13 Voices or something. I can't remember. I remember thinking when I first saw Richie, wow, he's different. That's awesome. It's weird, but it's my kind of weird. I absolutely love the feathers, love the black. Love the fucking voice, was amazing. And I was kind of hooked. It's like, I watched a couple videos. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Because they were like covers. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So then I kind of stepped away for a little bit. That was before I was really into YouTube too much. Because at that point, we didn't actually have internet where we lived. Which is weird to think about. But it was true because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. So then, when we got internet, I started watching more YouTube, and I stumbled across him again. And that was around Yalta. And I'm like, oh, Indian guy does his own music. Really? And then I got hooked.
Blue asks, what's your favorite fruit?
Probably a mix between like green grapes and strawberries and Granny Smith apples. I don't get them that often, so they're all kind of like my favorite, if that makes sense, because I don't get them. So when I get them, it's like, oh my god.
Horror Queen asks, what's your favorite junk food?
Question is, what's not? My favorite junk foods are like candy and just sweets and chocolate. Let me see. I love cotton candy. I love hard candies like suckers. I love, like I said, chocolate. Like any kind of chocolate is my kind of chocolate, except white chocolate. Not really a big fan of white chocolate, but like I have yet to find a Snickers bar that I disliked. You see, favorite junk food: brownies, cookies, cake.
Thomas asks, have you ever been noticed by Richie to a big scale? Love your art, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Have I ever been noticed by Richie to a big scale? It kind of depends on what your definition of big scale is. Like when he live streams, he does recognize my name. I don't know if he's put my face to the name yet. I have met him in Knoxville, but I do know that he meets so many people. you know, so I'm pretty sure we're all just kind of a blur. So I mean, I don't know if, like, say we were to bump into each other on the street, I would definitely recognize him, but I don't know if he'd recognize me. He wouldn't be like, oh, Terry, you know, I doubt it. I mean, he might surprise me. Noticed me to a big scale. He's shared my art before, and that was really awesome. I know when I saw him in Knoxville, he knows me on his live streams most from a joke that I made, the rattle rattle joke. So in Knoxville, he was up on stage in between two different songs, and it was really quiet. And I yelled up, rattle, rattle! And he looked over at me and he started laughing and he yelled it back. And then he went on this tangent of, please buy my merch at the merch table. It was so freaking hilarious. He spent at least 3-4 minutes on it. It was hilarious. It was so worth it. You know, it just is kind of depends on what your definition of a big scale is.
X Blue asks, what's one embarrassing thing you've done that you have told no one about? Yes, hi, I'm back because I'm bored.
When I was in school, I've always been rather blessed in the chest area. So, on the way to school, I was on the bus, and all of a sudden, I was wearing this bra, and the little plastic piece that like held the bra together was actually in the front of this bra for some reason. I don't know why, but it was. And all of a sudden, I just felt something give. I'm like, uh-oh. So I look at my shirt and like my bra strap broke. It was just completely broken on one side. And I'm like, oh God, this is not gonna work. I cannot go through school like this, because being blessed is not easy if you're just free to, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So me, with my great acting skills, I go to the nurse. Oh, nurse, I don't feel well. I must go home. And she's like, okay, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I can't go through the day. So she let me call my mother. And I didn't dare tell my mother what the truth was over the phone because the nurse was right there. So I don't feel well. Okay, I'm gonna come get you. My mother was awesome. One of the best mothers ever. She, no questions asked. Okay, I'm coming to get you. Thanks, Mom. So she's on her way. She's maybe about 10 minutes away. I'm sitting in the nurse's office doing the best fucking acting. I was sitting there like, ugh, just my mouth kind of open, my eyes kind of half closed, like, ugh. And kind of doubled over a little bit, and just every now and then I'd like, oh, you know. And I was never a troublemaker, which is another reason why I think I got away with this so easily, because they always trusted me. They always, you know, like, oh, it's Terry. She's so honest and perfect. Such a good student. She'd never lie. Terry wanted to go home. Terry gonna lie. So my mother gets there. She checks me out. And on the way home, I tell her what really happened. I said, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not really sick. My bra gave out. And there's no way in hell I can go through school lopsided.
Speed round! What's your favorite phrase? Yay! Or, if I'm really pissed off, Jesus fucking Christ. If you had to give someone a song to listen to that describes you, what would it be? I had to go back and listen to a few. Probably Persona from the Blue Man Group. It's kind of how I felt a lot of my life. Would you rather visit outer space or the bottom of the ocean? Bottom of the ocean. What would your Harry Potter wand be made of? Probably cedar so I could sniff it. How would you describe your aesthetic? Dark and sad. What is your biggest passion? Probably drawing and art and creative stuff like that. What movie or book character do you relate to most? I had to ask my friends because I wasn't 100% sure, but they pretty much all said across the board Hermione. So I guess Hermione. In your opinion, which era had the best clothes or the best fashion? I would actually say the 50s. I love the poodle skirts and the fluffy dresses and the saddle shoes. What type of music do you listen to? Basically, as long as I can understand the lyrics, I'll give it a fair shot. To be perfectly honest with you, I'll give anything a fair shot. But I do listen to a lot of sad music. In fact, the sadder, the better. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is actually blue. I do also like lime green, but purple's growing on me a little bit more every day. What do you like to do in your free time? Basically, read, draw, paint, create. What's your favorite joke? I cannot say it. It is not polite. If you meet me in person, ask me what it is. How would you describe yourself in 6 words? Artistic, creative, honest, loyal, caring, and odd. There we go. Can I draw you? Sure, go for it. By all means.
Okay, so what happened was I already turned the light off, all that good stuff. I was starting to put everything away, but then I thought, you know what? No, I want to come back. I want to say something. I'm having a damn good hair day.